Good morning. It's Friday. I have my coffee. It's really getting hot. Anyways, so every Friday I come on here and I go live and I try and share things that have helped me and just my ahas, little truth nuggets that I hope that help you. I hope they're things that you can put in your tool chest to freaking rock your life with. So I didn't really know what to share about today. But I was thinking about as I was in the shower and I was like, hi.
Can I have
Motherhood.
the daddy's one from
I don't know where that's at. And right now I'm doing my live Facebook, so I'll help you a little bit. You can look at that. Go have a cookie. I'll be with you shortly. All right, so anyways, I don't know who's with me. Say hi, whoever you are. Okay, so anyways, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today. And I just did a live call with, or kind of a live Facebook for my team talking about fear, because so many of us deal with fear, and I've really struggled with fear in the past. So I was like, I should talk about fear. A couple nights ago, I shared a TED Talk, and if you haven't already seen it, scroll through this page and find it. I'll actually share it again in the comments because it so spoke to me, right? And I loved what she said about how in our brains we have two speeds. We have an emergency brake and we have autopilot, right? And so most of the time we go through life on autopilot. You know, you get up, you feed and water the children or your animals or whatever, you drink your coffee, and then you head off to work, and maybe you get there, or maybe you go through your whole morning and you realize at some point you're like, wait a minute, like, how did I do this? Like, you're just on autopilot. So many of us live our lives that way, right? It's just, we have things we have to do, we have boxes we have to check, and so you do that. You check those boxes, you get it done, you're on autopilot. You're not really living, you're just checking boxes and getting stuff done, especially in motherhood when it's Groundhog's Day and so repetitive and redundant, right? It's just about autopilot. It's about getting it done. And then on the other side of your brain, you have an emergency brake. And the emergency brake is something that if you go off of autopilot, maybe if you're making an attempt at starting a new exercise program or changing your thought process or like changing your self-talk, you're like, wait a minute. Whoa, this is something different. Alert, danger, right? And so your brain pulls the emergency brake. And so I've been thinking about that. And she talks about how if you get an impulse to do something in the first 5 seconds that you think of it, like for me, I have no rhythm. I'm really not a good dancer. It's something I've always been super self-conscious about. And so I want to dance. I really do. But I don't. So we're at a wedding and I'll have that like urge, I'll have that impulse like to get up and dance, but I'm like afraid. I'm afraid of what other people will think. I'm afraid of looking stupid and making an ass of myself or whatever. And so I pull my emergency brake. Or I'll think to myself, I really need to reach out to that person for whatever reason, and then I pull my emergency brake because I'm like, well, what if it's not well received? What if maybe they take offense? Or maybe you've had like a falling out with someone and you have that thought, that impulse, that nudge to like reach out to them, but you pull that emergency brake, right? Because, well, what if they don't receive it well? Well, what if they're still an asshole? Well, what if it creates a bigger thing? It's easier just to let it roll. It's easier just to let things go unsaid. So I've been thinking about that, how now that I'm aware of it, I can't believe how many of those little like thoughts and nudges that I'm having, that I'm just pulling the emergency brake constantly. And so I want you to tune into that. I want you to start paying attention to that. Like, how many things do you want to do? Maybe you've been talking to me about joining a challenge group, or maybe you've been talking to me about coaching, or you've been watching me on the sidelines. You're like my peeping Tom, but you're pulling your emergency brake. I'm not judging you because I pull mine all day long too. I pulled mine for a really long time before I said yes to doing this. But it's something to be aware of. It's something to be aware of. And little kids are so good at just living on impulse. They do it, you know? Like if they need something, they let you know. If they don't want to, they let you know. They do what they feel. And then we get to some point in our later years where it's not acceptable. And so you play by certain rules and you do certain things. And at some point we stop living our best life. We stop following our hearts. We stop taking note of those impulses and those desires and those childlike, I don't know, the goals, the whimsy, the joy. And so things become drudgery. We get stuck and we find ourselves sleepwalking through life. I pull mine all the time too, actually. Like I'm realizing it more and more. And I don't like that. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to like live. I don't want to be afraid of what other people think. I don't want to be worried about what their opinion is of me, because it doesn't matter. But it does matter, right? Like, we are still worried about what other people think. So I'm making a conscious effort to reframe that and be like, you know what? I don't care. Their opinion, your opinion, it doesn't pay my bills. I have to follow my gut. I have to go with my heart. I have to do the hard things. And this is another thing for me that I've recently been like, you know what? It's not about what I want to do. It's not about what I want to do. It's about what I know I need to do. And so for everyone, that's going to look different. So, you know, I really want to go put that on the credit card. Like, I want to go over to Kohl's and use my coupon. I want to put it on the credit card. It's not about what I want to do. It's about what I need to do. I need to be more thoughtful about my money. I need to be more aware of our situation. I need to be more aware of goals and stop being in kind of a coma. Like, stop autopiloting it and saying, oh, mañana, I'll get to it tomorrow, later, someday I'll do that. When I retire, I'll do that. When my kids are older, I'll do that. When I lose my baby weight, I'll do that. Right? What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Tomorrow isn't promised. And so it all ties into fear, at least for me. It ties into fear and being afraid and not feeling like you matter enough and not feeling like you're good enough. And I don't want to live that way anymore. And so I've made really big strides doing all the like self-growth work that I've been doing. And so if you're just baby stepping, if you're just getting started, don't give up. Don't give up. Like, just keep pushing through the hard. It's hard for everyone, no matter what your goal is, no matter what it is you want to change. It's hard. And so I was talking to my team this morning about fear. We all have so much fear. And this conversation was about inviting to our business, because we're Beachbody coaches and we're not here to pimp a product. We're not here to like grow some like crazy sized team. It's about finding like-minded people that want to get better at life. It's about finding women who want to rock their freaking lives and feel good in pictures and be present with their family and contribute financially. That's what it's about. It's not about pimping something. It's about opportunity and sharing your heart and sharing your story and having a platform to help more people. That's why I became a coach, because I'd already gotten great results. Like, I love freaking Beachbody, but I'm not Beachbody. I am myself. I'm my own brand. I don't go around like, you have to do Beachbody, no, that's not my thing. My thing is helping women step into who they want to become and get back in touch with that person, to stop pulling your emergency brake all the time. And I'm still totally a work in progress. I haven't figured this all out, but we have a lot of fear. It's easy to have a lot of fear, right? To like, you don't want to step on people's toes. You don't want to come across too pushy or too salesy or anything like that. It's just about being genuine. It's about being genuine, and it's about loving people, and it's about connecting with them, and it's about continuing to work on yourself, because this is the biggest piece. This is the biggest piece, especially if you're really worried about what everyone thinks and other people judging you. You will never attract super amazing, inspiring people if you're not already striving to be that. So if you're not happy with who you are, you're not stuck. You're not stuck. It's not going to change overnight. It isn't. That's not realistic, right? You have to do the work. You have to listen to podcasts. You have to change your self-talk. You have to practice affirmations. You have to move your body. You have to stop rolling around naked in Takis or donuts or whatever is your guilty pleasure, right? It's all about balance. Maybe on the weekends you can roll around for 5 minutes naked, but that's about it. But yeah, it's just about growing yourself and always realizing that you're a work in progress, and we're all on a journey. Fitness, life, motherhood, it's a journey. There's seasons. You're going to go through suck. You're going to go through freaking hard storms, but there's other things on the other side of that. And I think when you're in the hard, in the thick of it, especially if you're like early in motherhood or your husband's deployed or it's really hard, whatever it is, it's so hard to lose sight of what happens at the end of that. It's hard to remember that you're going to have a rainbow on the other side of it, but you will. This isn't permanent. This is just a piece of your story. This is just a season in your calendar. It's a step along your journey, and you have to keep growing. You have to keep working on yourself, and it's selfish of you not to. So I hear this a lot. I used to say it a lot when I was early in my health and fitness, like my fitness journey. It felt selfish. Like I have this huge to-do list. I have things I have to do. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to do this. Whatever, crazy lady. Like that was my thought. But I realized that I was honestly being selfish. I was being selfish by not showing up to my life and not taking care of myself, because you're teaching them. I'm teaching them what's acceptable. I'm teaching them how they're gonna mother. All the things you do today, you're teaching them how to parent. You're teaching them how to treat their partner. You're teaching them what's acceptable to do and to say and to accept in relationships. And so I know sometimes it's comfortable and it's easy to stay, even if it's in the middle of the suck, even if it is in the middle of a hard, even if you are in a really shitty relationship, even if your best friend does treat you like crap. It's easy and sort of comfortable to stay there, but it's not worth it. That's you pulling your emergency brake. You need to say, no, I'm worth it. I'm worth it, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to like make some uncomfortable decisions, and I'm going to lean into the hard, and I might screw up along the way. And you know what? I used to be, like, I'm a reformed perfectionist, okay? So I'm recovering, and I used to think that, like, I couldn't fail. I couldn't. It was unacceptable. Like, I had to be perfect, otherwise it wasn't worth doing. But now I'm realizing that everyone's on a journey. None of us have it figured out. And if you want to change something, if you're not happy with where it is, where you're at, you have to do something different. And along the way, you will fail. You will screw up. This is normal. This is awesome. If you are failing, I'm high-fiving you right now, because that means you're trying to get better. You're trying to do something different. You're trying to figure it out. You will never, ever have success unless you fail, unless you move through it, unless you move through the hard and you keep trying to get better. So every single day, it's a freaking journey. I don't have it figured out. I don't even pretend to. No way. No way. But I am so aware now of how much I'm pulling my emergency brake, how I do still care what other people think. And I want to shed that. I just want to pretend I'm a snake, and I'm going to shed that skin, because other people's opinions don't define me. Other people's opinions don't pay my bills. Other people's opinions aren't going to raise my children. All I have is me. And the only thing I can influence is me. I can't influence other people. I can only change who I am. I can only decide who I want to be and start taking action every single day to step into that person, to grow into that person, to stretch into that person. And that's a gift. When you can figure that out and realize it's okay for you to screw up along the way, and realize it's okay for you to fail a little bit, that's a gift. That's just amazing. So anyway, let's see, do I have any other notes? Okay, so this is something else. Now that I'm aware of those little impulses I have, like I need to reach out to this person, or I need to do this. Don't just have the thought and let it go. Like, write it down. Send yourself a text. Email it to yourself. If you actually like put some action behind it, even if you're not actually doing it, but you're reminding yourself, this is important, I need to do this, I think it's moving you that much closer to getting out of your comfort zone. It's like dipping your toe in. It's not just releasing that. So if you're having those thoughts, I really need to start working out. I really need to like reach out and make a friend. I really need to like have this conversation with someone, but it's going to be hard. Don't just let it go. Don't. Those are gifts. That is your like subconscious mind telling you what you need to do, and you need to tap into it. You need to listen to it, even though it's going to be hard and maybe uncomfortable and maybe kind of sucky and maybe won't go the way you planned, but it's important. It's really important, and you matter. So those are just my thoughts today. Those are my thoughts. What's Ashley saying? That's my biggest issue. Yeah. Yeah. Me too, sister. See, there's a reason that we all meet each other. It's so crazy cool how like people come into your lives for a reason. I'm a huge believer in that. People come into our lives for a reason. And sometimes it's to teach you something about yourself, and sometimes it's to grow you. And maybe it's not the best experience, but again, it's your choice how you're going to look at that. So maybe you meet someone and you have a relationship with them and you think they're a friend, and then it turns out they're not a friend, or something happens. It's not you being a victim. It's about learning a lesson and tapping into who you are and realizing if there's a place for that in your life or if there's not. And there's no harm in that. There's no harm in that. As long as you don't go around, like burning buildings to the ground and hurting people's feelings. It's okay. It's okay to like outgrow people. It's okay to say no. It's okay to put up boundaries and make yourself your priority. Because like I said, really, it's selfish of you not to. It's selfish of you to not grow into your very best, most amazing self, because you're teaching your kids. You're teaching your kids important lessons. So show up to your life. start paying attention to autopilot versus that emergency brake. I'm really curious. And if you want to connect with me about it, let's do it. Send me a message, drop it below here. But I can't believe how much, like, I strive to do things that are hard. Like, this is now, I call them my frogs. That's what we call them in our team, our positive vibe tribe. Like, it's a frog, something that's uncomfortable you really don't want to do. You just freaking do it. Eat your frog. Throw some sriracha on there. Do the uncomfortable thing, because once you start to do it, once you start to do things that make you stretch and make you grow and make you uncomfortable, it kind of becomes addicting, because you're like, I'm a badass. Like, I'm not a victim. I could freaking do crazy hard things. Crazy hard things. You can do it too. So just lean into that. Lean into the hard. Ashley's motto is everything happens for a reason, and God wouldn't put you through something you can't do. Amen to that. Are you a Joel Osteen listener? Ashley, you need to be. He talks about that a lot too, that things are a chapter. It's not the end of your story. It's a portion of it. And your test, whatever your heart is, your test is going to be part of your testimony. You're going to be able to grow from it. You're going to be able to learn from it. And hopefully you're going to be able to help others when you're on the other side of it, because you'll be like, yeah, I know, I was there. This was my story, and this is what I learned, and this is what helped me. That's why I love doing what I do, because I finally have a platform. I finally have a platform where I can, like, reach people, and I can connect with other moms who are going through what I'm going through and what I have gone through, and I can be like, you're not alone. This isn't just you. You have a tribe. You belong. You are important, and you do matter, and you need to take care of yourself. You have to show up to your life. And if that feels too hard to take time for you, to carve that out of your day, flip it. Flip it and tell yourself it's selfish not to. That you're not just doing it for you. It's not selfish to work out. It's not selfish to show up your life. It is selfish to not, because you're not going to be the best mom. You're not going to be the best wife or the best friend. You're not going to be the most plugged into your life because you're limping through it. You're sleepwalking through it. And there's a purpose for your life. I heard this yesterday and I freaking loved it, and I'm going to share it with you, and then I will get off and rock my day. I will eat some frogs. But this woman was talking about how every one of us has a song deep inside of us, and it is our duty to sing your song, because someone needs to hear your song. Don't hold your song in. Don't hold your gift in. Don't hold your message in. If there is something on the inside of you, which every single person has something different to offer, you need to share that. There are people that need to hear your story. You matter. You're not just a mom or a woman or a person. You're so much more than that. And you have a song that needs to be sung. You have a story that needs to be told. It will speak to someone, and it's important. So don't live your whole life with your song on the inside. Don't live your whole life so worried about what other people will think and about their judgment that you don't rock your life, that you don't live your best life, that you don't discover who you're supposed to be and the purpose for your life, because we all freaking have one. So don't go your whole life with your song on the inside. You gotta let it out. Let it shine, my friends. Make today fantastic and amazing, because you're the driver of your bus. Sing your song.